Hey guys, how's it going? Dudey here. I'm back with another video. Today, I thought, you know what? We're going to get a bit Christmassy. Yeah, as Christmassy as we can on this channel. We're going to look at grisly murders that took place around Christmas time. Now, of course, I want to give you a warning. These cases are absolutely tragic. Christmas time is a time for family and love and sharing and giving. And unfortunately, these families received a tragic fate around Christmas time. Before we jump into the cases, I just want to hand it over to today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by Surfshark. Surfshark is an app and browser extension that allows you to place your laptop or phone anywhere in the world. This allows you to access the internet as if you were sat right there in their country. It also encrypts all of your online data. This protects all of your photos, passwords, videos. All of your precious data has that extra dose of security thanks to Surfshark. What I love the most about Surfshark is it allows you to access so many different Netflix libraries. I personally am constantly using US Netflix thanks to Surfshark. I'm always seeing what new horror movies the US gets on Netflix compared to us over here in the UK. And let me tell you, there are some good ones. Also, when accessing public Wi-Fi, as handy as it may seem, it is actually a hotspot for hackers. But if you've got Surfshark on, you are protected from those hackers. Because I know my data is encrypted and protected. So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to the link down below, use discount code Dudey for 84% off and 4 months free. Surfshark also offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there is no risk when it comes to trying it out for yourself. So there we go, guys. Hit that link down below, use code Dudey, 84% off, 4 months for free. Thank you so much, Surfshark. The first case we'll cover is Covina Massacre, 2008, Los Angeles, California. Bruce Pardo decided on Christmas Eve of 2008 to dress up as Santa and knock on his ex-wife's family's door. 25 people were at a party to celebrate Christmas that year. The 8-year-old niece of his wife answered the door and she attempted to greet Bruce. He shot her in the face. Now, Bruce prepared a gift wrap package that year which had a homemade flamethrower inside and a 9mm semi-automatic handgun and 3 additional handguns. As he entered the property, he began shooting everyone he could see, but he did have some specific targets on his list. His ex-wife's parents, her 2 brothers, their wives, her sister, her nephew were all killed. The 8-year-old girl, the niece, who was shot in the face as she greeted Bruce at the door, survived with injuries. After he was done shooting, he decided to unwrap his present and use the flamethrower to set the home on fire. One of the survivors managed to escape and run to the neighbour's house for help. After the attack, Bruce changed into his regular clothes and took off his Santa Claus outfit. He drove to his brother's where he died from a self-inflicted gun wound. The fire apparently took approximately 2 hours to put out, and the victims were so unrecognisable that dental and medical records had to be used for identification. The Los Feliz Mansion murders in 1959, again in Los Angeles, California. In December of 1959, one of the biggest murder mysteries to ever hit LA happened with the Perelson family murder-suicides at the Spanish Revival home at 2475 Glendower Place in Los Feliz. Around 4:30 a.m. on December 6th, the cardiologist Harold Perelson hit his sleeping wife Lillian with a ball-pen hammer and bludgeoned her to death before she could even know what was happening. She died by choking on her own blood. His teenage daughter Dudey, however, screamed for her life as he made his way into her bedroom. Neighbours reported hearing her yelling, "Don't kill me." They also reported hearing the father instructing her to lay still and keep quiet. He used the same hammer that he used on his wife and he hit his daughter. However, he didn't hit her cleanly enough and she was able to escape. And after seeing her mother lying dead in a pool of her own blood, she ran to the neighbour's house to get help. The 2 younger siblings, Joel and Debbie, had now woken up. The father told them to go back to sleep and said his last words to them, which were, This is only a nightmare. He then took 2 doses of Nembutol and 31 pills believed to have been a tranquilizer of some form of codeine. By the time emergency responders arrived to the scene, he was dead. The estate was sold at a probate auction to husband and wife Julian and Emily Enriquez, but here is where it gets even creepier. The Enriquez family apparently never moved in. After their deaths, their son Rudy inherited the house, and he is quoted by the Los Angeles Times as saying, "I don't know that I want to live there or even stay here." The house reportedly sat uninhabited and still in time for 50 years and was only used as storage by Rudy Enriquez. Those who peeked and those who had been inside the house say that the house remained unchanged and appeared abandoned in time and in place, as it had before the murders. Rudy passed away in 2015. Before the house was cleaned up to put on the market, they took pictures provided by photographer Alexis Vaughn. One word for these pictures: eerie. The house, despite having no one lived there for 50 years, looked lived in. Things seemingly left exactly where they were before the murders. The mail still piled together even. There is even cat litter from the long gone family pet. Though the origins are unknown, gold ribbon for presents could be found inside the house. You can find these pictures online today, with even video footage taken by the photographer. The Lawson Family Massacre, 1929, Germantown, NC. This portrait is one of the only portraits of the Lawson family. However, this portrait specifically is infamous, as it was taken just a few days before Christmas. 43-year-old Charlie Lawson was a working-class sharecropper, and he took his family shopping for new outfits to get their portrait taken. Now, it's important to note that this was not normal for someone of his social standing and his financial standings. In fact, from that era, someone of his working caliber, this would come across as a very peculiar and odd thing to do, almost a waste of money. However, what was to happen a few days later almost makes this act seem premeditated. So fast forward to the afternoon of Christmas Day, and all but one of the Lawsons in that photograph would be dead. Charlie was waiting by his barn for his 2 daughters, Carrie, who was 12, and Mabel, who was 7. They were going to their aunt and uncle's that day. Charlie saw them walk out and shot them both with a 12-gauge shotgun. He then proceeded to hit them over and over, bludgeoning them until they were unrecognizable. He then moved their bodies into the barn and headed towards his other family members. He shot his wife Fanny, 37, who was on the porch. His sons James and Raymond, 4 and 2, were alerted by the shotgun. They tried to hide from their father. He went on to shoot his daughter Marie, 17, and then found both the boys James and Raymond, 4 and 2, and shot them as well. He then bludgeoned his youngest 4-month-old infant baby girl, Mary Lou, to death. He walked into the woods and killed himself. His oldest son, 16-year-old Arthur, was the sole survivor that day, as he had been sent into town to run an errand. He was sent into town by his father, so maybe his father wanted to spare his life, but we will never know. The bodies of each family member were found with rocks beneath their heads and their arms crossed. To this day, the motive and rationale behind these murders are a mystery. It's been speculated due to statements by relatives of the family about Fanny voicing concern that Charlie may have had an incestual relationship with 17-year-old daughter Marie. This may have had something to do with the familial massacre. However, much like why he spared his eldest son, we will never know. One to note is the murder of John Benet Ramsey, 1996, in Boulder, Colorado. I'm not going to go into this because I've done a specific video on the John Benet Ramsey crime. If you would like to search that, just search John Benet Ramsey, Dudey, Rhino, or search another YouTuber that has covered the John Benet Ramsey case. It's been covered so many times by so many amazing YouTubers and documentarians. So I highly recommend that you look into that case. However, I do warn you, it is one hell of a rabbit hole. I'll leave you with the body hidden under the Christmas presents, 2011 in Jacksonville, Florida. Michelle Odowd, 67, had a friend, Patty Michelle White, 41, who found herself homeless. So Michelle, being the kind-hearted woman that she was, decided to allow Patty to stay with them over the Christmas period. By early December 2011, somehow the friendship had gone a bit sour. Michelle's twin brother was always suspicious of Patty and grew concerned when Michelle failed to show up for work or answer her phone. He went to her home to check on her and found her feet sticking out from beneath the presents under the Christmas tree. Her dead body laid there, buried beneath so many Christmas presents intended for her family and grandchildren. Her face was bloodied. Patty had strangled Michelle and beat her to death and hid her body under the presents. She also stole her debit and credit cards, and this is how she was arrested in South Carolina after being found when she used 2 ATMs using those cards. Family members said that Patty was part of the family and could not believe what had happened. They were sickened that she would bury the body beneath gifts meant for children and under the Christmas tree Michelle took so much pride in. Christmas was her favourite holiday, and she put so much effort and time in decorating for it. Patty was sentenced to 45 years in prison. So there we go, guys. What did you think of today's video? What did you think of the cases today? Are there any out there that really stick out for you that I didn't cover today? Please do let me know down below. And all I will say is, please, guys, stay safe and have a happy, merry and loving Christmas this year. Thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I appreciate you. Please go and check out my podcast, the Allegedly Possibly Maybe podcast. Just type in Allegedly Possibly Maybe podcast or APMA podcast on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all those places. You will find us. Thanks again, guys. Like, share and subscribe. Sweet one, geese.